too much detail in these clues, so hopefully you'll have a good crack at these. So the first one, this man, the clue is this man is on the plane to Denver and started all 3 of England's games in the 2016 Four Nations, as well as playing in the 2 games against Australia at last year's World Cup.
Johnny Lomax?
It's Johnny Lomax. Well done. Yeah, of course he got injured, didn't he, after starting the first game, and then came off the bench in the final. Okay, this player is expected to play in Denver after being involved in all of Wayne Bennett's squads before now, but he's only been given 3 caps so far from Bennett in that spell.
Stefan Ratchford.
Not Stefan Ratchford, but it is a back.
Makinson?
No, he's not played yet. He's one of the 3 potential debutants this time around. But you're getting closer.
Percival.
It is Mark Percival. Yeah, I'll give you half a mark on that one. There we go. Okay. Number 3. This man started all 6 of the 2017 World Cup games after getting his first chance with England in 2016 at the age of 28.
28.
He turns 30 next week.
No.
He's a half, if that helps.
Gareth Widdop.
Unfortunately, not. Gareth Widdop made his debut for England back in, I think, 2000.
Years ago. Yeah, it was he. Yeah. No.
Luke Gale is the answer to that one.
Yeah.
Okay. The former England Knights player back in 2012, this forward has been given 2 games in the senior side so far by Wayne Bennett, 1 in 2016 and 1 in 2017. He's on the plane to Denver.
Scott Taylor?
Scotty Taylor. Well done. Okay, number 5. This man had to wait until the mid-season test in 2017 to make his England debut. 10 years after he first played in Super League, he scored 2 tries in 3 games for England.
Stefan Ratchford?
Stefan Ratchford, excellent work. Okay. This Brisbane-born forward debuted for England under Bennett as a 30-year-old. He missed out on the World Cup squad, though.
No, he can't be Faircy, surely. Brisbane-born. Because I was going to say Dan Sargentson, but
no, Dan Sargentson
can't be
born
30.
in Perth and made his debut for England in the 2014 Four Nations, I think. No, 2014, yeah, the one down under.
Yeah, Brisbane-born forward.
He's only played once for England, and I'm sure he'll only ever play once for England, and I'm sure England fans would want it to be that way.
Oh God, yeah, him. I can picture. Yeah. That other guy.
I think it's one that you know or you don't. It's Chris McQueen.
That's
the clue was
yeah.
only leading you in that direction, but you had to know his name, I think. Okay. This forward started the mid-season test against Samoa last year for his first England cap and also made 1 appearance in the World Cup too, but he isn't heading to Denver.
So what was that one again?
So he started the mid-season test against Samoa last year for his first England cap and made 1 appearance in the World Cup as well, but he is not heading to Denver.
Darryl Clark?
No, Darryl Clark made his England debut in 2014, I think.
No,
You
no
do
idea.
know. You do know. Think about people you do know.
People I do. What?
No,
No.
Mike McMeekan.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah.
I tried to emphasise the fact that you do know. Okay,
Yeah.
number 8. And this one is a player who was previously capped by Ireland at the 2013 World Cup. He played in all 6 of England's 2017 World Cup games.
Previously kept by Ireland.
And he ain't playing in Denver.
No idea.
Yeah, you're slipping now, aren't you? I've got in your head.
Yeah, good start and then went out.
Ben Curry. It's easy to forget about people when they're out injured, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, the last one. This prop forward who made his England debut at the 2017 World Cup. He missed the opening game of the tournament, but then played in each of the last 5 England games down under. Each occasion he appeared from the bench. And again, he ain't going to be in Denver.
Spare Burgess?
No, and it's an extra clue for you, and a little stat nugget for the listeners out there.
Oh, there we go.
This player is now, after Dan Sargentson lost for Wigan last weekend against Wakefield, he has now got the most games played in Super League this year without losing a game at 5.
No idea.
Alex Walmsley. You fell under half marks because you can't remember players that are injured.
I can barely remember my own name, so it's not surprising.
Okay, well, can you remember what you want to recommend to the lovely listeners of Super League Pod this week, Tim?
I can, because I wrote it down.
Excellent.
First is an album, so I don't know how you are. How are you on the Divine Comedy as a band?
I am familiar with their existence.
Yeah, well, someone I'm quite taken by, quite into their sort of music, and they did a live album of their, I think it's either last tour or tour but one, where they toured Europe. It's where we spent a lot of it dressed as Napoleon, which is quite funny. But they've done a live of that called Loose Cannon, which is well worth a listen to.
Fair enough.
So it's quite a good as live albums go. It's
did
quite
they
a good
have
one.
like one big song in the 90s, and that's about
National Express?
About it, yeah.
Yeah. That is on there, in fact, a live version of that, amongst others. He also did the cricket theme band, Duckworth Lewis. It was him behind that.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, the Father Ted theme tune. So lots of things you'd know him from. And the other thing is, Changing Tax Light it's a graphic novel, and it's been out for it's over 10 years now. But it's one I've just caught up with. It's called Marvel 1602. So it's written by Neil Gaiman, and he takes quite a few of the Marvel characters, so Nick Fury, Daredevil, the X-Men, and puts them back in Elizabethan times.
So does he put them in Elizabethan times having known what the future's like, or were they always in Elizabethan times?
They're Elizabethanized characters, so Nick Fury is Queen Elizabeth's spy master,
right,
for example.
Okay. So they don't know that they were
Daredevil,
from the future.
Daredevil Matt Murdock is a balladeer, a bard going around playing as a minstrel and that sort of thing.
Right, I mean, even for comic books, that feels like a stretch.
It's well, I mean, because it's Neil Gaiman that's written it. It's a well written story.
Because
So,
basically
and
what you're talking about is a blind man who kind of doesn't really have, or is it his like superpower is really not being that scared of stuff. It's pretty much it.
yeah, and you know, leaping buildings and that sort of thing, and being able to do things
Mostly 'cause
quickly.
he's not
and all that
scared though,
stuff.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Yeah. But I just
But
don't
anyway,
see I don't see that working in
as a book,
Elizabethan
it's good fun.
times.
Well, I'm trying not to give too much away, but there is a bit that works
Right,
particularly.
okay.
But there we
Sorry,
go.
I'm stepping all over your recommends.
There we go. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Okay.
So time for your recommends then. I can step all over.
Step all over. Right, okay. Well, I'm recommending Hull City Centre.
Good choice. Good solid choice.
As a place to visit. We went to a bar called Furley and Co, which I think is it used to be like a shipping company's office, and now it's a trendy bar.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We had lunch there on Saturday and a couple of drinks there. That was really nice. That was one of those places that does price their craft beer at London prices, but still, we enjoyed it in there.
Used to have the lectures for one of my modules just round the corner from
wonderful stuff.
So used to have everything else was on campus, but there was one specific module you had to go into town because it was about the history of the shipping and piracy, amongst other things.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, there was there's like a slavery museum as well, isn't there, in Hull, which we didn't get round to going into, but we did go to Ye Old Black Boy. Is it called?
Yeah.
Which I thought.
Was it Ye Old Black? Because there's two of the very similar.
Oh right. Okay. Well, I'm not sure. It had candles on the tables.
One of them.
So obviously there's a link through to the slavery kind of stuff there, which is slightly uncomfortable. But the pub itself was really good. The staff were really nice as well. I really liked it in there. So if you're ever in Hull, go down to the Old Town and go down to Ye Olde Black Boy, I think it's called, or the Old Black Boy, or something along those lines.
One of them.
We also went to the Street Life Museum, which was for free entry. I certainly can't knock it. It was a good. Basically, when I was asking Sarah about things to do in Hull, she sold it as a mini Beamish, and it certainly does come up.
Yeah, I see that.
Come up on that level, but it's free entry. It was really good, really interesting, and it taught me about a sport I'd never heard of before, which was cycling polo.
Yes.
So apparently,
because did you know that's where that's because I was having this conversation with my dad at the weekend. The reason football is called football is not because you kick it with the foot; it's because it is carried out on foot to distinguish it from kinds of polo.
Oh right, okay.
Because it goes back to the days where football was played village to village as just kind of that sort of hybrid between football and rugby. Basically, there was a pigskin and it was it's because it's called football because it's played on foot.
Right, interesting.
So one from my dad at the weekend.
No, I mean, and something I'd not heard of in any Tony Collins books about the history of any code of football. So that's really cool.
Obviously, if you are listening, you'll probably be able to rubbish it, but certainly, if it was true, a fact from my dad, then well done.
No, excellent stuff. Yeah, that's all really great. Thanks for that. Thanks for that cool insight. Yeah, so my recommendations anyway are Hull City Centre, and in particular, go to the Old Town and go to the Street Life Museum.
Yep. I was once produced a video for Remembrance Sunday at the Street Life Museum.
All right.
So might well still be there somewhere.
Possibly so. Some of the things did seem dated-ish. But yeah, okay. Next week's show, I'm going to have Brian Davies on the show with me. Brian,
the one man who manages to get more Rugby League air miles than Gareth Hewer.
Exactly. And Gareth's going to be in Denver for the game next weekend. But by the time I catch up with him to do the show, he should be back. We're planning on doing it on Monday evening. It's probably going to be a much shorter show than this week's show. Obviously, there might be a bit of flexibility around that in case Brian's got a bit of jet lag or anything like that. So we might float it onto the Tuesday. We'll see. But The plan is still to record as normal on Monday, so keep an eye out